Alright guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. I've been dealing with the Chili Delete Laws, DiCarlo or DiCaprio or DiCaprio or Douche or whatever his last name is. I don't particularly actually care. Anyway, I've been dealing with him so much, talking about how all cops are horribly evil monsters that need to be destroyed and taken off the world and get rid of handcuffs and all this other nonsense that well, you know what he's talking about. He's full of it. Anyway, after dealing with him for the last few days, I decided to do something a little different this time. I found a channel from a local news network in Utah that features good cops and cops doing good things. So I'm going to show some clips from that. But first, I also found a newbie Frauditor, cop baiter guy. This dude he's taken it to a whole new level of low, a new low. What this dude does is what I would consider to be legitimate audits, except it's what he does after. I'm going to show this clip from him, and you're going to see that he doesn't interrupt the police, he doesn't interact with them, he doesn't bait them, he doesn't do any of that, which would be beautiful. But when you look at the video itself, and this is why I call him a clickbaiting frauditor, the title of the video is "Man Doesn't Understand Rights and Butthurt Ensues." So he titles the video like there's a cop, who's going to violate his rights and he gets butthurt when they don't, and then you'll also see the text he puts on screen talking about how the cop got butthurt and how he violated their rights and this and that. But when you actually watch the video, talk about the content never matching the narrative. This guy literally just stands there and films the cops for 20 minutes, doesn't say or do anything, and then posts the video to make it look like it's this big, horrible interaction. Talk about clickbait. Check this out. Check it out. Now, right now, check out, he's going to say something. It's the only thing he says the whole video until the very end. And it's him attempting to talk to his audience. He's narrating. But watch how, unlike other frauditors, he doesn't go out of his way to say it loud enough to make sure the cops can hear him. In fact, he goes out of his way to make sure he says it quiet enough that they can't hear him.
She's already searching the vehicle. They're trying to get probable cause to arrest him on DUI right now. They haven't finished that process yet, and they're already wanting to inventory the vehicle.
Everybody's got cameras out here tonight. Works out good, don't it? Yeah. Alright, we got a name, number I can call you in case I need to talk to you about anything that's going on tonight? Because you're out here, you witnessed it, didn't you? Oh, okay. Well, then if you didn't, I don't need to talk to you. Have a good night.
All right, there's a lot of things I want to say about this. I mean, look at the way that cop reacted. He wanted to know if the guy was a witness to whatever happened and had it on film. When he found out the guy wasn't and didn't have it on film, he said, okay, that's it. And then this text pops up on the screen. There's a reaction, a specific reaction that I had nice and short and quick to this writing, except I wanted to say it in a voice, and I can't do the voice, so I'm going to have him say it himself. Ladies and gentlemen, David from Battle for Dream Island.
Oh, seriously?
ID failed.
Oh, seriously?
And now I'm going to cut to the clips of good cops doing good things. I'm not going to actually do much narration on these. I'm going to let these videos talk for themselves. Check it out.
Well, there are only so many people who can say, I'm alive today because someone else saved my life.
That's exactly how one woman feels about a Roy City police officer. ABC4's Brian Carlson explains why she wouldn't be here without him in tonight's Behind the Badge.
This woman calls this Roy police officer her guardian angel. She emailed me a few weeks ago asking if she could nominate him for Behind the Badge. She says if it weren't for him, her life would have been over.
Smiling, laughing, and with a new outlook on life, Jessica Klein says she's alive today because of Roy City police officer Keaton Thompson.
I'm so grateful. I wouldn't be here without him.
Last month, Jessica had become suicidal, learning people she thought were her friends were trying to use her identity to commit potential crimes.
I felt very lost, very out of control, like these people were out to ruin my name, and I didn't think I had anywhere to turn, so I drove up the canyon to take my life.
It was here she tried to overdose on pills. Her family found her suicide note, called police, and Officer Thompson responded.
As soon as I saw the name, I knew who it was.
He'd met Jessica days before when she reported the identity theft. He couldn't resolve it at the time, but listened to her story. That's why when the family reported her suicide note, he immediately went looking for her.
I then contacted our dispatch center and started to ping on her phone. I also had my dispatch center list her on our database as missing and endangered.
Nearby sheriff's deputies found her car and rushed her to the hospital where she received treatment and now is in counseling.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
It's so good to see you too.
How you been?
I'm really good. And I'm forever grateful. I mean, I credit it all to him. He took it serious and he didn't brush me aside. He was empathetic and kind and was caring.
To Officer Thompson, that's just part of the job.
And you don't want them to feel judged, or you don't want them to feel like you're not there to help them, because that's what this job is. This job is going out and finding the best way to help somebody each and every single day.
Today, Jessica credits her life to his kindness.
And you saved my life, and
wishes more officers were like him.
When I asked Jessica how she's now handling life today, she says she's learning new coping skills when she feels depressed and has a new safety plan for days that feel overwhelming. Officer Thompson says he's relieved she's taking the right steps to deal with her depression. Back to you.
We've heard plenty of news stories about police misconduct, but we rarely hear about their acts of kindness. In tonight's Behind the Badge report, ABC4's Rick Aaron has the story of a South Ogden police officer who went above and beyond the call of duty after a boy's bicycle was stolen.
It was 1:30 in the morning when 12-year-old Angel Gonzalez heard a commotion and looked out the window to see two men taking his bike from the balcony of his family's apartment.
Like, I was just in shock and I didn't know what to do. So I just screamed, "Hey, that's my bike."
Veteran Officer Dan Johnson, who works the overnight shift, showed up to take the report.
The look on his face was worse than the bike being stolen because it was just kind of a look of defeat. I knew exactly what he was feeling, and I had my bike stolen when I was roughly the same age, and I mean, that's your wheels, that's your way you get around.
With no sign of Angel's bike or the suspects, later that day, Officer Johnson decided to replace the bike out of his own pocket.
On my way into work, stopped into Walmart and picked a bike out that I thought Angel would like.
He spent $140 on a Mongoose Brawler Freestyle BMX model with 20-inch wheels, and then surprised Angel with it.
Hey. So, I felt bad about it yesterday. Remember that, this morning, okay? I don't ever be able to get that bike back, okay? We got you this guy here. We got you a brand new bike with a brand new lock, okay? The only thing I'm thinking it's going to cost you is maybe if I can get a couple of pictures just to send to my people, and they'll be happy. Sound like a deal?
Yeah.
Deal? All right, my man. Absolutely, buddy. I wasn't expecting to get a hug out of him, but it was awesome. It was good.
And then he just gave me this bike, and I was really shocked. I was like, wow, there's still good people in this world.
Officer Johnson says he's not special, explaining that he sees law enforcement officers do this type of thing all the time.
Good cops aren't rare, and they're everywhere, from all departments all the way around. And so, it's nice when things come back and they get the positive light on it. You talk to almost any officer that's in the same situation, and they said the same thing. They weren't doing it for the recognition. It's just because it's the right thing to do.
Officer Johnson tells me he wasn't looking for any attention for this, but Angel's older brother posted the video on Facebook, where it has nearly 2,000 likes. As for Angel, he has decorated his new bike with some stickers, and he's working hard on his bunny hops and his wheelies. For Behind the Badge, I'm Rick Aaron, ABC4 News.
Local law enforcement agencies putting a focus on the homeless and their struggles with mental health.
Yes, and for one police detective in Midvale, it's his everyday job. ABC4's Brian Carlson introduces us to him in tonight's Behind the Badge.
Handling a homeless person having a mental health crisis isn't exactly the easiest thing to do. But the man we meet in today's Behind the Badge says it's something he actually looks forward to. He says it's what being a police officer is all about.
Seeing the homeless in Salt Lake County, few people know them better than Detective Mark Utley with Unified Police.
It's my job to go interact with them, try to help them and assist them.
Working out of Unified's Midvale precinct, Utley specializes in helping those suffering mental health issues or people living on the street.
He'll take a little plastic like this and he'll wrap himself up and sleep in the box. This is his home. This is where he sleeps every night. You okay with that?
Utley tells us his main job is building relationships of trust.
Bring you some food. All right, buddy. I love you.
To hopefully get them in a more safe situation in the care they need.
When you interact with these people out in society and they're yelling and talking to themselves, they scare you. But if you actually get to know them and understand the mental illnesses that they have, there's some really, really good people that are there, and they just want to be just like me and you.
He estimates 60% of police calls are responding to those experiencing mental anguish or struggling with stable housing. It's why Utley spends as much time as he can working to qualify them for places like Midvale's LifeStar Village Family Support Center, a privately owned facility providing a stable place to stay and options to progress.
Once they're past phase 2, they can move and buy these homes that are in phase 3.
Why Utley is passionate about helping the homeless is simple. He says every officer becomes a cop to make a difference, and here he can see it.
Do you feel like the medications helped you or didn't help you?
One of his favorite stories is with the homeless man you just saw. Detective Utley says that man recently found a wallet with over $160 of cash still in it. IDs, credit cards, the whole thing. Because he trusts the detective, he says he walked all the way to the police station, waited for over 24 hours for him just to turn over the wallet with all the cash and the ID still in it. He says it shows you how good some of our homeless with mental health struggles can be and what you can get developing relationships with them. Back to you.
All right, now this next clip specifically goes to the idea that all of these sovereign citizens and frauditors and all these guys have, that the only reason cops ever pull anyone over is to try and extort money out of them. So let's see if that's true.
Nobody likes getting pulled over, much less getting a ticket. But you may be okay with how one officer does it to potentially save you more money in the long run. It's about letting the small things go, but not budging on the big stuff that could cost people a lot more.
Getting pulled over by police may not be a pleasant experience.
I pulled you over because I ran the registered owners of the vehicle, and it said that they might have an expired driver's license.
But when it's traffic officer Brody Bowen in Cottonwood Heights, he tries to make it positive.
People generally will perform the way you treat them. I'm not going to give you any trouble for that today, okay? You're just going to get a warning on that.
Bowen typically stops 15 to 20 drivers a day.
Hey, ma'am, I pulled you over because your license plate, I ran it through the statewide system and I'm not getting any return on it.
And say most make honest mistakes. But he's looking for drivers who make the road dangerous.
Those that shouldn't be driving, we tend to have slightly different conversations together.
Before Bowen became an officer, his background was in insurance claims and found drivers without insurance made life difficult when they crashed into someone else.
Seeing a lot of these people suffer, I began to develop a very strong sense of the injustice of a driver driving without insurance, not caring whether or not they hurt someone.
It's why he stops drivers and does a thorough check.
And I pulled you over because I ran your license plate and I see no proof of insurance in the statewide system.
Because you never know which drivers are putting others at risk.
Okay, her driver's license is actually not expired, it's denied. The state has sent you a second letter advising you they still don't have proof of insurance. I do not want you driving this vehicle away without proof of insurance in hand.
If he does it right, even those with more glaring violations may be pleased how he treated them.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. You have a good day at work. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Bowen's goal is to hopefully help drivers not need him to stop them again.
Now this next clip I put because it specifically addresses something that Mr. Chili Delete Laws Con Carnival always brings up, is this idea that prison is literally a dungeon. So I don't know if any of you have ever actually seen a real dungeon. It's basically brick walls with chains and maybe some hay you could lay on if you're lucky. And that's pretty much it. So let's see how that compares to an actual prison.
High fencing, barbed wire, and construction crews busy at work. All visible right now on site of the new Utah State Prison being built west of the Salt Lake Airport. The Utah Department of Corrections expects to complete construction in less than 75 days. So before inmates move in, we toured the 300-acre lot to check it out.
So this would be one of the main areas where the prisoners have their cells?
Correct.
Former warden Steve Turley helped design the new prison and says it's a significant upgrade from the old site in Draper.
More light. Some of the control rooms we have at Draper are dismal, but these are more roomy, so our inmates and staff alike can work in a brighter, more upbeat environment.
Each housing unit now has its own medical and dental rooms, reducing need to take inmates outside prison walls for treatment. All units have 2 televisions and kiosks like these soon equipped with computers so inmates can email their loved ones directly. All areas of the prison will now have direct supervision and be more efficient. For more dangerous criminals, new glass subwalls will allow inmates to come out of their cells to handle daily basics without putting officers at risk.
Whenever these particular offenders are around our staff, they have to be restrained. And so now they can come out, go to the shower, come back in, go back in. We'll have a kiosk and a phone without ever having to be restrained.
Here in maximum security, you may expect to find areas like a solitary confinement or death row. But that doesn't exist in the new prison. Corrections staff say more than what an offender does on the outside, it's how they act here on the inside that determines where they're housed.
It's due to their attitude and behavior, not due to their crime.
It may also surprise you, certain inmates with good behavior are on the construction crew helping complete the prison.
I'm assuming you have some trust in the inmates you allow to work.
Yeah. They've gained a level of classification where it allows them to be supervised outside.
Seeing who's building it and what's behind the barbed wire may be different than what you expect. And hopefully today will be the last time you see it from the inside.
All right, so let's see if Chili is right. Here's a picture of one of the cells, right? Take a good look at that. And now, here's an actual picture of a real dungeon. Can you really compare the two? I don't think so. If the definition of understand is to stand under, then by your own logic, the definition of motor vehicle would be a vehicle with a motor.
Here comes the part we've all been waiting for.
Okay. Alright, stop. No, stop. You motherfucker, oh my god! Holy shit!
Billy Mitchell, what are you doing here? And what's that thing you're doing with your tongue?
What are you, one of these lizard people they've been talking about? Come on, it's like you actually are a snake. Look, nobody cares about your Donkey Kong score anymore. This is the 21st century. Tell me how many kills you got on Call of Duty, or what's your best build on Minecraft. Come on, man, get off my video. I don't want to look at you. I want to look at something cool. Show me something else, come on. Ah, yes, this is nice. See, this dude, I was doing some yard work the other day, and my son said, Dad, what's that? What's that? And I looked and I saw this guy just chilling. He's just hanging out. So I thought it was beautiful. So I told my boy, I said, go fetch my phone, man. I want to take some pictures of this guy. So here he is, man. I could look at this all day. All right, this is nice. Way better than that sovereign citizen nonsense or that stupid Billy Mitchell.